You know, every time you click, post, or search for something, a little digital version of you is being built, tracked, and sold. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the realistic, practical steps you can take to reclaim your digital self and get as close as possible to being invisible online by 2026.
From the second you go online, you're being watched. And this isn't some abstract problem. The stakes are deeply personal, because this is about who gets to control the story of your life.
Look, this isn't about being paranoid. It's about having agency. It's simple, really. In the digital world, if you're not actively managing your own identity, you can bet that corporations and data brokers are more than happy to do it for you.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to lock down your core identity. Then, we'll talk about how to shield your movements online. After that, we'll get into how to erase your past digital footprints. And finally, we'll get to the most powerful tool you have, the privacy mindset.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1. We're starting with locking your identity. I want you to think of this like reinforcing the front door to your digital house. It's your first and, honestly, most critical line of defense.
Your email address is so much more than just a way to send messages. It's your digital fingerprint. Every single account, every newsletter, every service you sign up for, it all ties back to this one identifier. It creates this huge interconnected web of everything you do.
So what's the fix? Well, here's a simple but incredibly powerful one. Using your primary email for everything is like handing out your home address. It's a magnet for spam and targeted ads. But when you use disposable or burner emails for signups, you completely break that chain. The data trail just stops. It leads to a dead end, not back to you.
But you know, having a private email doesn't mean a thing if your password is password 123. Weak passwords are, by far, the most common way hackers get in. So preventing a breach means totally rethinking how you approach them. So here's your password strategy for 2026. It's really straightforward. First, get a password manager. This is non-negotiable. Second, create passwords that are long and random. A really great method is to just combine 3 unrelated words with a symbol, something like sunrise, coffee, giraffe. It's easy to remember, but a nightmare for a computer to guess. And third, the golden rule: never, ever reuse a password. One breach at one company could expose your entire digital life if you do.
All right, so your core identity is locked down. Now let's move on to shielding your movements. This is all about how to browse the web without leaving a constant trail of digital breadcrumbs for anyone to follow.
Your regular web browser? It's like a leaky faucet, just dripping your data all over the internet. The solution is to switch to one that actually cares about your privacy by default. Browsers like Brave or DuckDuckGo automatically block those creepy trackers that follow you from site to site. A hardened Firefox can do the same thing, you just have to tweak a few settings.
Next up, a VPN. A VPN basically hides your IP address, which is like your digital home address. But, and this is a huge but, be really careful here. Free VPNs often make their money by selling your data. You've got to choose a paid VPN with a strict, audited, no-log policy. And make sure it's based somewhere outside of those international data-sharing alliances, like the 14 Eyes.
Just stop and think for a second about the things you search for: your health concerns, your political questions, your deepest curiosities. Mainstream search engines use all of that to build this creepily detailed psychological profile of you. But alternatives like Startpage or DuckDuckGo, they just give you the answers without logging your questions. They have no idea who you are.
And even how you pay for things online tells a story: where you shop, what you buy, what time you bought it. To make that financial trail a little harder to follow, you can use things like virtual debit cards that create a new number for every purchase, use prepaid cards, or just go in and tighten the privacy settings on your digital wallet.
Okay, now let's talk about something that's literally in your home. Your smart speakers, your smart TVs, even your smart fridge. They're designed to listen. They are constantly gathering data on your household, a lot of the time, even when you're not talking to them.
The good news is you have control. You can fight back. Just dive into your device settings. Disable the wake word so it's not always listening. Turn off personalized advertising. That stops it from sharing your data for marketing. And hey, if your smart TV has a microphone it doesn't really need, just turn it off.
So we've secured your present. Now it's time to deal with the past. This section is all about cleaning up the digital footprints you've already left behind over the years.
Old accounts are basically buried landmines just waiting to go off. Think about every forum, social media site, or game you signed up for years ago. Even if those companies are long gone, their user databases are probably still floating around on the internet somewhere, unprotected, just waiting to be leaked.
So yeah, it's time to do a little digital spring cleaning. Make a list of all those old school logins, forums you forgot about, gaming accounts, ancient cloud drives. Find them and go through the process to officially delete your account. Get rid of them.
And now we get to the really insidious part of all this. There is an entire industry of companies called data brokers, and their only product is you. They scrape the web for your name, address, phone number, even your relatives' names, package it all up, and sell it to literally anyone who's willing to pay. Getting your info off these sites? I'm not gonna lie, it's a chore, but it is possible. You can go to these data broker websites one by one and manually opt out, or you could use a paid service to do it for you. But this is not a one-time fix. You have to do it every few months because, trust me, they will find your data again.
And that brings us to our final section, and honestly, maybe the most important one. We've talked about all the tools and tactics, but real digital invisibility comes from something much more fundamental. It comes from a privacy mindset, because the most powerful tool you have is you.
This is the question you need to burn into your brain. Every single time you're about to post a photo or write a status update, just stop and ask yourself, does the entire world really need to know this? Who's going to see it? And how could this information be used against me later on?
And really, that's the whole point of this. Being invisible online isn't about hiding in a cave. It's about choosing what the world gets to see. It's about taking back the pen and making damn sure that the story your data tells is the one you actually want to tell.
Look, by 2026, privacy isn't going to be something that's just handed to you. It's going to be a choice, a deliberate act, and a responsibility. So take these steps, adopt this mindset, and take control of your online identity.